Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Professor Tex, a.k.a. Uncle Tex. 2020 season, strange year, strange times, everything that went through here and whatnot. Big congrats to Derrick Henry and what he was able to accomplish this year and whatnot, over 2,000 yards. I was beginning, if you guys know, history buff. And one of the things that was really funny to me was the fact that I was always saying, I said, well, right, so far the best back that came out of Alabama was Shaun Alexander. And the jury's still out because Derrick Henry's got some time to go, but from how he's doing it, Derrick Henry is like, he's on that path, right? He's definitely on that path of doing some great things, leading the league 2 years in a row in rushing and whatnot, and finishing out with 2,027 yards, I think 17 touchdowns and whatnot. Interesting thing. I know everybody was made think about, Chris Henry did it, and it's like this is the first time, the first time that a franchise has two backs that went over 2,000 yards. Also, a little footnote to that, as a franchise overall, because you all know that Tennessee Titans used to be the Houston Oilers. So one of the things was interesting there. They actually, as a franchise, they own not only the top two rushers that did 2,000, but the top three leading. They also have three in that franchise that are in the top 10 of rushing yards in the season. And the first was Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell, back in 1980, rushed for 1,934 yards, right? So, so between, Henry and, Henry, as well as Johnson and whatnot, they broke that record, but it's like top 10 performances rushing in a season. They have actually three that's still holding that time, to still hold top 10 and whatnot. So that's pretty an interesting mark right there, which goes to the game today. And I'm gonna say this, because right now, one of the things that's interesting about in all of these matches, I'm going to deal with the three today. All the matchups across the board, this is legacy. Everything right now on this, and this is year in and year out how this is, but this is interesting on how this is legacy time. These are guys that are starting their legacies, and it's guys on the other side of their legacies, right? And we'll start right there with Indianapolis and Buffalo. Right now, we'll start with them. It's like, okay, that's, you have Phillip Rivers, and you have that of Phillip Rivers and Josh Allen. Right? Josh Allen, he gets props. Josh Allen, he balled out this year. He balled out. That's all I can say. Balled out. It helped they had Diggs. I saw sparks of it last year. He came through in the clutch, did some big things this year for his squad. Kudos. Buffalo's a nice football town. I'm not a Buffalo fan per se, but I remember those teams back in the 90s, and I'm like, they loaned for that. So they might actually have that here. And he's on the upstart of his legacy. I think he might have made All-Pro second team this year, and I think he went to the going to the Pro Bowl, even though a Pro Bowl is not going to be played, which Pro Bowls ain't what they used to be anyway. So why even bother? It's about, to me, being the best in the biz, right? But Phillip Rivers has a strange legacy. Phillip Rivers more than likely. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, and he's a Hall of Famer based upon the amount of years he played, because I'm going to probably end up doing a show on how you have different types of Hall of Famers. But, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But he's one of them guys that stayed around. He got a bunch of yards and stuff like that. He's been around. He's in 8-9 Pro Bowls, whatever, all the stuff that he's done and whatnot, and, won a few games, but not a whole hell of a lot. But because of longevity, he's in that quarterback class, Eli, Big Ben and himself and whatnot, those guys got Super Bowls. He needs a ring. And this is his last leg. I don't think it's much left and whatnot going on out here. And plus, you got Carson Wentz is ready to skedaddle up out of Philly and to reunite with Frank Reich if he possibly can. I mean, that's something that I've been hearing about and whatnot. But you have one on the other side of his legacy and the one's on the upstart of his legacy. And this game is going to be interesting to see, especially since that the Bills Indianapolis is a top-ranked defense in the league. They're one of the better defenses in the league. I think they they have a really good defense in everything that they have, and their defense. See, defense is ranked in the top 10 for sure. And so with them, with that defense that they have, uh, they've ranked team defense. They're ranked 10. They also, let me see, they ranked 10. They're ranked 20 in the passing, and I think they're ranked second against the run. So you can't run on them, and it's not like Buffalo has a bunch of running. Of course, Josh Allen to go ahead and be athletic and roll out and get a couple of touchdowns and stuff like that. So you have to be where you got with so Diggs, that whole thing there. So it's about what Indianapolis team is going to show up and what Forrest with Buckner, and all them other guys on that team is going to do. How they're going to get down and how they're going to play. Because Indianapolis can be a really strong team at times, and other times they just lay an egg. And what Darius Leonard and what Buckner is going to do. But that secondary is a challenge because Josh Allen can throw that thing. You got Diggs just best year of his 4 or 5 year career, 5, 6, however long he's been in the league. But these are legacy games, man. So upstart, that's one of the legacy games. And Buffalo's hot right now. I see Buffalo's basically winning this game. I wouldn't be surprised if Indy wins this game, but I'm just like, Buffalo's hot right now. They're hot. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm like, Buffalo's just, they're riding the wave. You got LA and Seattle. Again, another legacy game, right? You have, because I got Seattle winning this just because the quarterback situation is whatever. I don't really care if you even have Jared Goff. Jared Goff, so-so quarterback at best. Some days he's good. He'll give you a couple of weeks where he's good, and you get a couple of weeks where he's just not even that good at all. This is a big game for Russell Wilson because he has to show, even though Russell Wilson will be a Hall of Fame quarterback, no doubt in my mind, but for him to go to that upper echelon for that team to take over, because in those young Seattle teams, those are teams of defense and running the ball. He's the guy throwing the ball. He got TK Metcalf. He got, he has those nice wide receivers. It's all about what that defense is going to do for him. It's also, what that defense is going to do for them, for sure. How that defense is going to react. Because their defense has not been, definitely not over these past years, as we know from past years and whatnot. So those defenses have not been that great when you really look at it. So it's going to be interesting to see how, because it's a passing league, and you got and having a passing league, a mean pass rush, and guys that can cover. Right now, number one defense is that of the Rams. So I won't be surprised if they make it an ugly game that they can win. But I see, because again, another legacy game, and the defense part of the legacy game is Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, again, first team All-Pro, probably going to win his third defensive player of the year award and stuff like that. I don't see them getting past Seattle just because the quarterback situation. If Jared Goff can be a Jared Goff of a couple of years ago in a game or here and there, but his hand was broke or whatever is messed up, and the guy, I just don't see that happening with them. So I don't see them winning that at all. And again, that just that kind of got tripped up Donald a little bit, but I'm like, he's getting ready to go down one of the best that have ever done it. Period. End of story. Unless he can take over a game on some LT type stuff, I don't know. But but Russell Wilson has to take his game to another level simply because this is his time. This is your team, and they got it that way. So you have to win now. He has to win to separate himself from early years with them guys there, because you can't seem like you only won with them guys, and you can't win with you being the face, even though he's a great quarterback. So I got Seattle winning that. Tampa Bay and Washington. Here we go again. You got somebody on the downside of their career legacy. Tom Brady's legacy is already basically written, but he's greedy. He wants another ring, and they got themselves in a position, and they're playing Washington, who finished hot. I've said it for years. I said it the last couple of years, and they cemented with it. Whoever was drafting these guys from between Jonathan Allen, you got Chase Young, Can't think of a Sweat. And another guy that I say, when I was telling my brother who's a big Skins fan, I'm just like, dude, I said, that's where you build at. Nowadays, you got to build on that defensive front. And them guys are some of the top guys, and them young guys, and they get after you. They get after you. Talk about they are ranked, if I'm not mistaken, from a team passing. Let me see, They're ranked second on passing. They get after you. They're ranked. Let me see here. Rush defense. These guys, yeah, they're 13th. So you can kind of run the ball on them, but as far as passing, and again, it's the passing league. Because jokers hurry up the band. If it running ain't going fine, they're gonna start throwing that ball anyway. And then you looking as far as like team defense, they're ranked number 4. And them guys are young and they get out there and they're hungry. But again, the quarterback situation, you don't know if Alex Smith's gonna play or this nobody guy, whoever that's gonna play. That's why the whole thing with them and the Rams and stuff like that, legacy game. And Tampa, you don't know what Tampa team is gonna really show up. Because Tampa against bad teams, they do what they're supposed to do against bad teams. And they whoop them up good. Teams that are good, just as good as they are, whatever, they don't do that great with them. Like I say, so if Alex Smith can play, that might be a dogfight, but I just, and whatnot. And you got Chase Young sitting up there saying on Brady and all this other kind of stuff. I said, okay, a little banter there going on, but it's like, I got Tampa slithering up out of this one and stuff like that, just on that alone and whatnot. Got them slithering out on that one. But these are legacy games. You got Baltimore and Tennessee next, and like I said, I'm not going to call anybody on that. Those are the 3 I'm calling for today. I'll come back and do a little bit tomorrow on this one here. But Baltimore and Tennessee, another game. You got Derrick Henry. You got Derrick Henry and you got Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, them guys, hey man, he's not going to let on, but it's like it's on. You know what I'm saying? It's on. It is on. So it's like he's going to, you know what I'm saying? So about his legacy, his young legacy. Dealing with with Derrick Henry, his legacy, up and coming legacy, 2,000 yards and whatnot and everything like that. But like I said, and I'm like, hey, we'll see what happens. Like I said, we'll see what happens. But like I say, Tannehill had a good year and everything like that and whatnot. That's fine and whatnot. But I'm like, and they was on the cusp of doing some great things there last year and whatnot. We saw what eventually ended up happening with them when they shut down Derrick Henry in the second half and made Tannehill, he's still that guy. He's in a particular system that is perfect for him. You put Cam over there, that's a completely different story, whatever. But it's like, we'll see what happens. Chicago and New Orleans. This is about what Mitch Trubisky, where is he going to be next year? And then you have the downside of the career, his legacy, is Drew Brees. This is Drew Brees' last Mohican because he hasn't shown that great in the playoffs in the last couple of years. And that's something that nobody's been talking about. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. So they got beat by Minnesota last year and he didn't look good at all. And whatnot. And they shouldn't have even, a couple of years ago when they play, so they've been in these playoff games and he hasn't had the greatest of showings and whatnot. His legacy. Then you have Big Ben. There ain't much left for Big Ben. And then you got, the young guns. A lot of these is young versus old. And you got, it depends on what Pittsburgh team is going to show up and how Big Ben's going to show up and how these wide receivers are going to show up and whatnot. And, and Pitt's always up there as far as defense is concerned. And when it comes to team defense, they rank 3. They rank 3rd. They're ranked 3rd. You go down to passing defense, they rank 3rd and whatnot. So it's hard sledding. They're ranked 3rd. But let me see here. But Pittsburgh is ranked 11 in rush defense, which is kind of odd. That's not too bad. But normally Pittsburgh in the defense, in defense, you can't run on them. They're normally top 5 all the time. But we'll see what ends up happening, being that you have these teams that can sit up out here and the Cleveland can run with Nick Chubb and got Kareem Hunt. And Baker Mayfield's playing great ball and stuff like that right about now. So we'll see what ends up happening with this, man, and whatnot. Like I said, I'll pick some of that stuff tomorrow. But again, legacy, Big Ben's on this side because him and Phillip Rivers, same draft class. Baker Mayfield up there. You got Baker Mayfield. Where is he going to start taking his career to the next level? Mr. Trubisky, where is he going to be at next year? His erratic play, right? Drew Brees might be his last year. Baltimore, where is Lamar Jackson going to go? Is he going to go 0-3 in the playoffs? And even though that's not entirely fault, but this side of this game does, will Derrick Henry get shut down? right, or whatever. What will Washington's defense, because that's going to be their calling card, right? And your young defensive front against veteran Tom Brady and this squad and that pretty good offensive line that they have over there. And like I said again, with Aaron Donald and with that of Russell Wilson, and even down to golf. Like, dude, what are you going to do? Like, where are you at right now in your career? Like, what are you going to do? So, like I say, I'm picking Buffalo, I'm picking Seattle, and I'm picking Tampa. Seems like easy picks, but those games are kind of. I ain't gonna say gonna go either way. Say Tampa should handle Washington. They should handle them. Seattle should handle LA, but you don't know, because Seattle, after those going 5-0, and all of a sudden they just started being erratic during the season. Even Russell was a little erratic, and their defense has not been their big strong suit. So it's like, and they got that dude, I think it was Cam Jordan. He's running that ball hard and whatnot. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But yeah, but I might, what I'm saying, but yeah, but the Indy game. Buffalo game, that's the game I'm looking, even though I probably ain't going to be able to look at some of it because got to take the kid to go get her hair done. So I'm going to miss some of that because their appointment's right at 12. but yeah, so that was my picks though. But this is legacy week. All of these things is guys' legacies on the come up and guys on the declining side of their career. So this is legacy and where a guy can start building and what their reputation is going to be like in the coming years and how they're going to finish their careers and whatnot. And I tell you guys all the time, maybe back a little bit later. Talk about a few other things. I got probably come back. I got some stuff to talk about with Kirk Cousins, my favorite voodoo cushion doll, and just some of the moves that are probably going to be made on the off season there. Tell you guys all the time, there is no greatest of all time. There is no GOAT as long as time is still going on. And I can tell you guys all the time, numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. Y'all guys have a good one and come back a little bit later.